On a remote, forbidding island deep within the Bay of Bengal lies a world untouched by time, a place where the rhythms of life have remained unchanged for millennia. This is North Sentinel Island, an isolated outpost that few have seen and even fewer have survived visiting. Within this dense tropical wilderness lives one of the most enigmatic and uncontacted tribes on the planet, the Sentinelese. For thousands of years, the Sentinelese have lived in complete seclusion, far removed from the tides of history that have swept across the rest of the globe. Their origins are shrouded in mystery, but it's believed that they are direct descendants of the first human populations to migrate out of Africa, making them one of the oldest continuous human cultures on Earth. Despite the allure of uncovering their secrets, the Sentinelese have made it abundantly clear that they do not wish to be studied, contacted, or even seen by outsiders. And they have done so with a ferocity that has earned them the reputation of being the most dangerous tribe in the world. What sets the Sentinels apart is not just their isolation, but their unyielding determination to maintain it. Unlike other indigenous groups who have had varying degrees of interaction with modern society, the Sentinelese have remained steadfast in their refusal to engage with the outside world. Their encounters with outsiders have been few, and almost all have ended in violence. This is not the violence of conquest or expansion, but a defensive aggression, an unwavering commitment to protect their land, their people, and their way of life from any external influence. Historical accounts of the Sentinelese are rare, but those that exist are chilling. The first recorded contact attempt was made by the British in the late 19th century when an expedition led by Maurice Vidal Portman tried to establish communication with the tribe. The results were disastrous. After capturing a few members of the tribe to study them, the British soon realized that their captives were becoming severely ill, likely due to exposure to foreign diseases. Horrified, Portman released them back to the island, but the damage was done. This incident likely reinforced the tribe's already deep-seated distrust of outsiders. In the decades that followed, several other attempts were made to contact the Sentinelese, most of them by anthropologists and adventurers, driven by curiosity and a desire to learn more about this untouched culture. Each of these attempts was met with the same hostility. In the 1970s and 1980s, Indian authorities made periodic visits to the island, often leaving gifts like coconuts, tools, and cloth in the hopes of fostering goodwill. These efforts were largely unsuccessful. While the Sentinelese sometimes took the gifts, they never reciprocated or showed any interest in peaceful interaction. More often than not, the visitors were greeted with a hail of arrows and spears. The most dramatic display of the Sentinelese determination to remain isolated came in 2004, in the aftermath of the Indian Ocean tsunami. The massive wave devastated much of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and there were fears that the Sentinelese might have been wiped out. An Indian government helicopter was sent to check on the island's inhabitants. As the helicopter hovered above North Sentinel Island assessing the damage, a Sentinelese warrior emerged from the trees and fired an arrow at the aircraft, a clear and defiant signal that the tribe had survived and remained as fiercely independent as ever. What makes the Sentinelese so uniquely dangerous is not just their hostility, but their ability to thrive in an environment that is inhospitable to outsiders. North Sentinel Island is surrounded by coral reefs, making it difficult to approach by boat. The dense forest that covers the island is impenetrable to all but the most experienced. The Sentinelese themselves are master survivalists, perfectly adapted to their environment. They are skilled hunters, using bows and arrows to hunt game and fish in the surrounding waters. Their knowledge of the island's resources is unparalleled, and they have shown no need or desire for anything from the outside world. The Indian government has long recognized the peril of interacting with the Sentinelese, both for the tribe and for those who might attempt to contact them. In 1956, the government officially declared North Sentinel Island a tribal reserve and prohibited travel within 3 nautical miles of the island. This policy was strengthened over the years, particularly after the disastrous encounters that occurred during the 20th century. The government's stance is clear. The Sentinelese are to be left alone. However, this official protection has not entirely prevented people from attempting to reach the island. In 2006, 2 fishermen illegally entered the restricted waters around North Sentinel Island. They were killed by the Sentinelese, and their bodies were left on the beach, a stark reminder of the dangers of venturing too close. The most notorious incident occurred in 2018 when John Allen Chow, an American missionary, illegally traveled to the island in an attempt to convert the Sentinelese to Christianity. Chow was killed shortly after setting foot on the island. His body never recovered. The Sentinelese represent one of the last uncontacted tribes in the world, living in a bubble of isolation that is both their greatest protection and their greatest vulnerability. Their aggressive defense of their territory has kept them safe from the dangers of the modern world, but it has also left them vulnerable to its diseases and disruptions. Even a single encounter with an outsider could introduce pathogens that their immune systems are utterly unprepared to handle, potentially wiping out the entire tribe. Yet, the story of the Sentinelese is more than just one of danger and isolation. It is a story of resilience and survival, of a people who have chosen to remain untouched by time. In an era where the world seems to be shrinking and the last wild places are disappearing, the Sentinelese stand as a powerful symbol of human endurance and the right to self-determination. Their refusal to be contacted, their fierce protection of their way of life, and their extraordinary ability to thrive in isolation are a testament to the strength of human culture and the primal instincts that drive us all to protect what we hold most dear. The Sentinelese may be seen as the most dangerous tribe in the world, but perhaps the true danger lies in what we might bring to them: disease, disruption, and the end of a way of life that has endured for thousands of years. As the modern world presses ever closer, the Sentinelese remind us that some boundaries are not meant to be crossed, and some stories are best left untold.